Helps if I unmute myself. Good evening, everyone. Hope you are all doing well. I can see I'm in the dark. We might need a little bit of light, mightn't we? Let's try that. Not sure if that's going to be too much light. Highly professional round here. There we go. A small sun has erupted. Evening, Mumka. How you doing, mate? So we are, after the wonderful experience we had last week, well, last Sunday, we're going to go back into the PTU and try and do some more mining. Because, you know, try again. However, this time I brought some friends. So, did have a little bit of success with the old multi-crew stuff, with some mining afterwards. Hey, Cookie. Good morning, good afternoon, good day. This is where I think Australians have got it right. Good day is just such a good way to basically say hello. You don't need to worry about any time zone stuff. So yeah, after our limited success on Sunday, I did manage to get a few more of these mining missions done, and actually get in to the next sort of rank. Let's get Starsheep into the party. Cool sheep, that should be you and me. But yeah, as we will see when we load in, which we're going to just go ahead and load in now. Some of the missions are not working very well. Surprise, surprise. So, I've hit junior contractor rank for Shubin. It unlocked some new missions. It was a little bit painful to get to. I'll go into why later. However, the problem we've got is that those missions that we've unlocked come up with some slightly strange stuff on the delivery location. Or at least they were doing that just the other night, last night when I was doing this. So it's going to take a little bit of fixing, I think, before this is ready. However, what we thought about was maybe heading over to Nix and just seeing what the hand-in location there is. Because if it's Levski, as I think it probably will be, we might be able to mine some stuff in Stanton and then hand it in Nix. So, just to show you, so I've got my rep up to junior contractor here. I've unlocked a new ship mining mission. And then it is trying to get me to take it to mining claim. So that sort of sends a deliver shipment out into the asteroid field. And yes. It's a little bit, there's no freight elevator there. So it says send it down the freight elevator. Well, you can't. So let's try Levski. See what Levski wants. Right, folks. I am probably going to just take any ship that I've got claimed over here quickly through the wormhole to Nix, just to see what the mission requires. But if any of you want to grab out, like, we were going to take like a C2, weren't we? So, Procyon, do you have one of those available? That's okay. If you can probably take mine. Okay, if we get a C2 out and if we get a mole out as well, that'd be great. Maybe what we could do is start filling the C2 with some mole bags from Everest Harbour. So we got some spares. That would be awesome. And in that time, I will just run over to Nick's and see what the contract wants. Hey, Atomic, how you doing? Yeah, let's meet up at Everest. Yeah, that's good. Right. Remember my way out of her L2 or L1, whichever I'm at. And let's see what ship I came here in. Pretty sure I brought my C2. Oh. Yeah, Needle, I think I reset the server region to US for Kazoon. Do you guys need that doing on another channel, do you? It's okay. I can stream mine and Discord admin at the same time, I'm pretty sure. Hey Midfeet, how you doing? Cool. Let me see if by the time... Right, Noodle, there you go. Discord adminning should have happened in the background. Hopefully. This is, of course, the PTU, so... Midfear's Maximum Bob. Hey Bob, how you doing? Right, let's see. Can I get a different ship to deliver? Yeah, her L1 would be a good rendezvous location. Yeah, we can try and prepare them. The only problem is you can only really buy them at Everest Harbour. Okay. Third terminal is the Charm. I'm feeling this one. Let's see if it wants to deliver. Oh, so now I'm getting told my C2 has in fact made it to the pad. Let's go. Let's go. Just had to try some other ASOP terminals while I waited. That was the key. Enforced patience. So far, things aren't as terrible as Sunday, are they? For anybody who was watching then. Touch wood. Touch all of the wood. Believe it or not, this is an improvement. Yeah, just a little bit of lag. As opposed to stand by door, wait for door to open for, 20 seconds. Let's go. It does indeed run badly. To be fair, it's still early days in terms of PTUs. They do tend to get better with a little bit of time. Oh, hey, Rapey. Sorry, I didn't see you sneak in. So, yeah. As ever, I think I've mentioned before when I stream, myself and my wife, we live in a relatively small apartment. Not that small, but there's going to be sounds. She needs to have her dinner too. And, of course, there's going to be the boiling of the kettle because, you know, tea. So yeah, apologies for any background noise, but I figure if I wait until everything is perfect in terms of having the absolute perfect room, it'll probably be 10 years before I get on and do a stream again, so... You've come to observe my patience with the PTU. Is there some sort of sweepstake on the go as to when that patience is going to run out? If so, I'd like to get in on that action. I bang on about tea all the time, and then I drink iced coffee out of a can, though. That's probably a bad advert, really. I do appear to have got myself stuck in the elevator of the C2, though. There we go. There we go. It's alive. Your Loud Guns bingo card. T should always be the central tile. That's what you're hoping for in Loud Guns bingo. You're pretty much hoping for like an entire line of T to get you to the bingo the quickest. Well, I appear to have successfully made it into the pilot seat of my ship, which is... It's taken a while, but it's not taken as long as it did on Sunday. There's that. Do my MFDs work, though? I mean, does my flight ready button work? That's the next question. Do I remember where the flight ready manual control is in a C2? There we go. Got it on, like, attempt 6. Now I just need to wait to see if it actually does the thing. I'm pretty sure I could live without tea. But would it be any kind of life? That's the question. There's just certain moments where you just like... You would really, really miss it. Like, coffee does the job. Just not as nice. So, I'm just in the C2, but I'm going to go and take a look at Nyx to see whether the missions are there. And what materials we would need. So, yeah, if you guys could get some mold bags, that would be awesome. However, her L2 or L1 does seem like it would be performing a bit better, because less people. I reckon we could just go with something small like 24. Like if we manage to get 3 runs in, that's plus the bags on the mole. That's amazing. It's interesting. I swear, last night the star map was actually working quite well. Seems to have broken just in time for us to do this stream. Yeah, Jack. It's you have to live with some lag. This is this PTU is suffering from quite a lot of lag. I'm not even quite sure what they've added that has brought it all on. But yeah, definitely things are a bit on the laggy side. Is a little bit of an understatement. So. Raymir's Guide to Life. Shelter, tick. Tea, tick. Okay, we're good. We're good. We won't talk about some of the stuff that Raymir's drank. We won't make it that type of stream. As ever, in Star Citizen, when doing an 80 GM jump, you gotta take the time to just look at how pretty your ship is. Never stop looking at how pretty the ships are. That's my number one tip for enjoying this game. This just reminds me of the many hours I spent grinding my cargo hauling rep up, though. It's giving me flashbacks. That was a very happy time, though. I've never been so on top of the laundry as I was when I ground my way to master rank. My wife probably despairs at the fact that I started doing things which didn't leave me like 5-minute windows every 10 minutes of gameplay to go and run off and unload a dishwasher or a washing machine. Yeah. So, other things I am quite interested to try. There is also the sort of salvage missions, which, as far as I've seen, are actually requiring you to also bring the components, so things like ship weapons, which could tie in really nicely with some of the existing contracts. I think this stuff, it's got all of the good it's got good foundational stuff for industrial gameplay in 4.6. But I'm questioning the delivery at the moment. Have they taken the 698k hauling missions out? I think they took those out last patch, if I'm not mistaken. They did a bit of a refactor of all of the hauling missions. So cool. Have you tried the new salvage missions, have you, Cookie? Yeah, I'll definitely give some of those a go. Alright. I also noticed, and it's probably a bug, but like when you're around the Lagrange points and other sort of places where there are asteroids, there is an absolute metric ton of debris, like stuff to salvage. Like, I fear it might be basically the death of asteroid mining in a way. Because it was hard to find asteroid signatures in amongst so much salvage. Yeah. No, I'm pretty excited by the mining changes. But I want to, I'm still interested to see what these missions are actually all about, because even when I've got up to the next level of the ship mining ones, which have now disappeared, because I'm not round a a major planet. But, like, they've got like, 0 payouts. So what are we doing them for? Just for fun? Or, like, is that a bug, basically? Yeah, I haven't been out to the Halo yet. If it's suffering from the same... Well, I suppose it depends whether you think it's suffering or not suffering, depending on whether you want mining or salvage. From an asteroid miner's perspective, it's definitely suffering. I was looking for copper, so I went to Arkel 3, which apparently has 100% copper. And I couldn't find a single asteroid because I just got blocked entirely by salvage. I was like, there in my prospector, just like, why did I not bring a vulture? Like, this feels like a vulture day. Oh, so new types of debris. Not just panels. Excellent. Yeah, they I think it's maybe bugged though, because there was just too much of it. Yeah, I said this on the stream on Sunday. I'm really hoping that the mining missions provide, because there's reference to IRG in there, like the actual mission giver is Shubin, but there's reference to IRG, which I'm pretty sure is the Interstellar Resource Workers Guild. I am hoping that they have a script, basically, that you get IRG script like you get MG script, because then mining could be a really good way to like grind things like Wicklow favors if they made them, you know, transferable for Wicklow favors in the same way MG script is. And it'd be great just giving people the choice, right, between how they interact with that sort of thing. Because yeah, the oh, dragged straight in. Okay, let's remember which screen I need to look at. I need to look at the one that's actually live, not like a couple of seconds behind while I navigate a wormhole. Particularly with random little freezes like we've been getting. Yeah, so while the script makes sense in terms of a resource to transfer into Wicklow favors, I really hope there's a lot more to it than that. Because I love Wicklow. Like, I absolutely love the whole Wicklow loops. I've found it has provided me and the org with really good like reasons to play and do stuff. Like building the Idrises was super fun. Building Polarises when we did those, super fun. But like every time I put anything up about it, I get a comment. Well, I get a lot of comments from people who are like, I hate Wicklow. It's so bad. It's so terrible. I never interact with it. Which, you know, different smokes for different folks. That's absolutely fine. But like, I hope there's more options of things to do with your script. If that makes sense. Like, I think they could be a really good resource for sort of buying stuff like blueprints when crafting comes in. Okay, so this is why we came through to Nyx. So, let's just make sure we get out of the way of the jump gate so we don't get rammed. So, the ship mining contracts here are indeed dropping off at Levski. So this is the one which is junior contractor rank. It just wants me to drop 5 SCU of aluminium and 5 SCU of quartz to Levski. Okay, I'm just going to tell the folks. Okay, so I've just come through to next. We've got it confirmed that these missions will let us drop off at Levski itself. It wants 5 SCU of aluminium and 5 SCU of quartz per contract. I'm going to guess that is going to be repeatable, like the other ones were. So we just want to target aluminium and quartz. So I'll do some quick regolithing and see if I can work out where's best to go. My gut is telling me Arc Court moons, but we'll see in a second. I'll come back through to Stanton. Whereabouts are you guys? You Hero 1. Hero 1. Cool. I'll turn around and I'll come meet you there. So yeah, sorry for that lengthy journey, but it was just literally to go and double check that. Try a small delivery contract with an excess of material to see if you get the remainder back in your storage. I can give it a go. If not today, then certainly on Thursday. Thursday I will probably do some more just solo stuff. I'm trying this to just see how it works. See if I can deal with the multitasking. See if my crew of friends can deal with me multitasking. So it's not just about my patience. Well, I drifted a lot there. Ship is behaving a little bit weird. Definitely says I'm moving at 200 meters per second. There we go. Oh, nice, Jack. Tavarin markers. One thing which I really need to test, to be fair, which I might if I can get somebody to fly around with me and my paladin, so that I don't embarrass myself with my fighter pilot while trying to stream skills. Might need to go and test ace pilots in 4.6. I have heard that they have fixed the thing and they are back to dropping medals, which, if that is true, is a hallelujah moment for me, because I really enjoy the patrol grind, but it's just sad when the ace pilots don't work correctly. So welcome to the PTU Starship. Starship has just commented that for him it has been some time since playing this game was this painful. That is the PTU through and through. So yeah. Remember which screen to fly off. It's so tempting to look across at the Streamlabs monitor. I need to resist the urge. Just while I'm in a jump tunnel. One thing which I did find as well, we've got these priority missions. For when we do the next quantum jump, we'll take a little look at some of that in the contract manager. They sadly do not give any rep, even though it's also Shubin. It doesn't help you build the rep for the mining contracts. However, it's really good pay for laranite, and so I think it was sort of making laranite pay out about 11k an SCU or so, when it's usually about 6. So if you're doing these sort of mining things, it's great because you can look for the materials you want, but then you can also, yeah, if you find a nice laranite rock, you can crack that, you can grab a bunch of that, you can use it to hand in for these priority contracts. So you got like these ones. So yeah, 30 SCU at like 564k is, well, that's even better. That's like 18.8k per SCU. Let's just see if there's a large, we've got any large contracts. So yeah, I'm seeing the medium one today. Oh, there we go. There's a large one. 175 Dakari pods. I would need to find out where to get Dakari pods. But yeah, 19 SCU of Borace for 545k. So that's even better. That's okay. 545, 19, 20, 28, 29,000 per SCU of Borace. So that's putting that stuff sort of decidedly above like the tier 1 mats, and things like Borace and laranite, that is the sort of thing that we can go out and just literally fill a mole with. So yeah, gonna be some decent paydays, which admittedly might matter a bit more if, you know, 1 billion credits wasn't chump change at the moment. Them some breaks. I think we can just choose not to interact with the dodgy money. So, hope you don't mind if I have a French fry during this. So yeah, I think one thing which we can do is do quite a lot of like overlapping stuff. Like go out mainly for the mats, and we're looking for mining missions, and then also go for these other materials. Right, let's just see. If I switch to desktop, excellent, cool. That actually worked. I'm afraid you've lost me for a little bit. You'll live, I'm sure. So let's take a wee look at ore types by location. For anyone who hasn't seen this, this is Regolith. This tool is amazing. So we are looking for aluminium and quartz. What we kind of ideally want is a location which has both of them in fairly equal number. So I'm thinking that ArcCorp might be... Well, ArcCorp is 50% aluminium. So that's definitely a pretty good place, and we Lyria and Wala have like really big rocks, so it's going to be pretty good for that. Do we have anywhere which is really massive quartz? Terminus would be an option for actually delivering quartz and aluminium. That's good to keep in mind. Not that many places with quartz. Nyx's Glacium Ring could actually be an option for these. But I think we might be... Let's see. Yeah, okay. So we're probably looking for like Microtech moons for the quartz and Arcorp moons for the Arcorp moons for the aluminium. I think that's going to be our best bet. Okay. And that was perfectly timed to arrive at her L1. Okay, the disappearing space stations are back. Let's just make sure we don't align too closely with those. There we go. There we go. Right, got a hanger. Okay, definitely, again, need to remember which monitor to look at to land. At least the C2 bounces. Right. Let's go land this, and hopefully I left my mole ready. Right, guys, we are probably going to want to head to Lyria to mine aluminium. So I should be able to just pull my mole out here. Is it worth us going ahead with some people to try and fill that up with aluminium? How are you folks getting on with like mole bags on a C2? So. I just got out of my chair and I think very interesting things must have happened around me. It's not looking positive. I feel like something very strange has just happened on board my C2. If you want to see Star Citizen at its finest, come to the PTU. Let's see what happens if I try and get back in the seat. If I'm allowed to get back in the seat. What if I backspace? Really hoping I set my spawn at Hero 1 like I think I did. Okay. Moment of truth. No. Lawville. But this is why we suffer through the PTU on stream. It's a lot easier than banging your head off the desk trying to make a video. That is 100%. See if I can remember my route out of Lawville though. It's been a while since I set Lawville as my main home location. Let's take a look. Right. We're making this a tradition, though. Mining streams that take an hour to get to the mining. Yeah, Finn, it's about having witnesses to the bugs. It's about having people to suffer through the bugs with you. It's also just about having a, you know, quite relaxed chat. Rather than desperately trying to make a video. Desperately try and make videos about PTU stuff. This is behind the curtain as to what, like, people who make videos about PTU stuff suffer through. Like, I'm just trying to get some footage, and this door will not let me go. Like, I'm going to try and exit to menus, hoping that I will log back in my hangar. That's what I'm going to do. We've just somehow spawned back at Lawville when I thought I was set to her L1, so I'm just exiting to menus and hopefully coming back in my hangar. Because the hospital won't let me go. I am indeed that good a customer. Yeah. They want to give me some more healing. So. But yeah. That's almost a bit worrying, though. There is only 212 people on this server. There don't tend to be all that many PTU servers up at a time. And I think that is kind of revealing of, yeah, because we're on a weekday EU evening. If numbers are that low, that's sort of where they get to with the point of, like, we have to push it to live because nobody's testing it. So. Yeah, that's exactly the idea. Exactly the idea. And hopefully, after enough bug-filled streams and laughs along the way, I'll have stuff to make a video out of. So. Although also sometimes with PTUs as well, you just need to wait for, like, builds. Like, there's clearly some stuff that is wrong with mining missions. Like the total lack of payouts. So, like, it's quite difficult to make any calls about them when I don't know what they pay. Like, so at least this way we're having some fun and we get up the rep. Oh, absolutely, Erikai. Yeah. You are dead right, in my opinion. Like, I have found this, like, ultra rapid pace of PTUs actually quite difficult to deal with. Because understandably people care a lot more about, like, the PTU, like what's coming next, but, like, it doesn't leave very much space to actually enjoy the game that is in live. Oh. Yeah, Loud will bring his mole straight to Arc 1 then. Because I'm coming up from Hurston. That would have been an oversight. I didn't realise I hadn't delivered my mole, so at least we'll get to kit it out. Should hopefully have all of the stuff that I purchased earlier in the patch, including those Riga C3s. First things first, let's get the good paint on it. Then, yeah, Helix, Hofstede. Let's get those Riga C3s onto every laser, up the power. Focuses. And why not a surge? Standard build. Hey, Butcher Perfect. I'm not even sure if that's genuine or sarcasm. I'm gonna read it as genuine. That's my takeaway. No. My aim is to at least do some mining within the first hour. That's my target. We confirmed some things. We know what we're after at least. That is a key part of the puzzle. We know where we can go to go and hand this stuff in. So now we just need to go and get all the quartz and all the aluminium that we can. But yeah, to your point, Arakai, it's basically like when major patches were coming every month. It's like you've only really got like 1.5 weeks, maybe, to just enjoy playing on the current live build. And then you have to be into the PTU looking at the new stuff. And yeah, I've got a lot of admiration for the people who spend all of their time in the PTU and maximize that time. But I prefer playing on the live version. Prefer actually like making some progress and playing in a more stable game environment. It's just more enjoyable. So there we go. That was just the orange light. For a second there, I thought for some reason that my Keystone livery had decided not to stick there. It's just bathed in red lighting, making them all look orange. So and even though Tika was 1.7 GM the way there, it looked on my screen like she was falling down into the pit that my mole was in. Hey, Headleap, how you doing? No worries, picture perfect. Text as a medium, you can't detect sarcasm. So. Yeah, it's oh, come on. Let's just hope the ship manifests itself through the floor. It's not looking good. Maybe if we exit the hangar. We got 6 minutes. 6 minutes to make the do some mining within the first hour of the stream deadline. Maybe if I call the ship from outside the hangar. Maybe it can, maybe it will spawn in. So yeah, AJ, it's a really tough. It's really tough to sort of get this balance, because things I love from last year, I love how much new stuff they put into the game. If they want this game to be done this decade, like to get to a point where they can call it, you know, we're in what, 2026 now. You know, if they want it done before 2030, it ideally needs to be like, you know, at the sort of pace of release that last year had. But the pace of release did cause, you know, a bunch of some builds which were not particularly great to play. Clearly, like, pace of change that was hard to keep up with. Like, it was, oh, there is go. It's, not expecting everybody to be bang on time. It's absolutely fine. You haven't missed much, mate, don't worry. You certainly haven't missed any mining. But so yeah, I hope they slow down a bit and like get things working, get things to be more reliable. Take time to hotfix things when they break. Like I was really disappointed when the mole was left entirely unusable for an entire month. Or when Project Hyperion just couldn't be done. That was sad. Like, so it was tricky when stuff like that was happening. I do hope they take the time to make that sort of thing less of an issue. However, I hope they don't go back to the years before where it was like, 4 patches a year. Barely any change, like glacial pace of change. Because that wasn't particularly great either, like, let's be honest. Well, the elevator's moving. I was just really hoping to make it back to the lobby. A little bit worried I've entered another trap, haven't I? Oh dear. What was that sweepstake on my patience and the PTU? What am I at now? What's the action? I feel getting trapped in elevators might be the breaking point. The elevator's moving, though, Sky. Oh, there we go. I escaped. Whew. Whew. Okay. So let's see whether if I call them all from these terminals and don't look at it while it spawns, if it happens to be in my hangar. Let's take a look. Escape from the elevator there was the highlight. Stream highlight so far. Hey Jacob, how you doing? Yeah, I almost like I'm always really careful because I'm not a game dev. And I have no experience in it. I trust that the people at SIG are far more smart in this sort of thing than I am. However, what I would do with my little brain is I would do 6 patches a year. Yeah, because 4 patches a year was too slow. 12 patches a year or whatever it was too much. Like, I would do 1 patch to release new stuff, and then I would do 1 patch to fix stuff. Like, that would be my preferred method. So it's sort of like it feels like, if they knew they had like 2 months to fix the things that were wrong, or like, X amount of weeks to fix the things that were wrong, then maybe we would get a more stable, playable game. But I appreciate it's a balancing act, right? Because, like, what we really want is Star Citizen 1.0. But what we also really want is Star Citizen to play now. And that is, I mean, it's a rod Chris Roberts made for his own back. So let's not be too sympathetic here. But Ooh, that lift's open. But it is the reason that things are the way they are. I agree with you, Arakai. I would be very, very surprised to see it. For anybody who's not too PTU savvy, RC is just release candidate. And no, I do not expect that we'll get round to one of those this week. The only reason I could see us getting round to a release candidate this week is if they are just like desperate to get people in it and testing it. The mole is on the pad. Okay, I might have succeeded. I've succeeded in step 1 of escape from Lawville. My ship is actually on the pad. Alright, excellent. Those guys are all almost at Arc L1, so I'm going to be catching them up. Yeah, that's true as well, Sky. The fact that they're also working on a tech preview. I mean, part of me as well is like a little bit like sympathetic to, you know, a lot of people, particularly when they're burning out their keyboard on Spectrum or Reddit or wherever people like to post their sentiments. A lot of people forget that devs are people. You know, and the thing which I would be worrying about is like with the pace of development, the number of new patches, like how much crunch are they putting people through to deliver this amount of patches? And clearly somebody needed to, you know, light a bit of a fire underneath the overall development of Star Citizen. But like, you don't want to burn out good people who clearly make really good content. You want those people around. So yeah, I'd just be like a little bit worried that the pace over the last year is a bit too much. Yeah, it does seem, Jacob, though, like they are getting on top of the basic systems with refactors. Like cargo was a big one. Hopefully the inventory refactor when it comes will be quite meaningful. We've broken orbit. Let's get across to Arc L1. Doesn't seem to want to let me set a course, but let's just set a course for anywhere quickly just now. I would imagine, Sky, there were just a few frustrated responses to the Star Citizen survey. I think probably a lot of people used the phrase year of playability. That probably got mentioned. One of the worst ideas for terming a year. One of the things which makes me really wonder whether CIG employ that person who is just like, their entire job is just to sit at a table during a meeting and just be like, are you sure? Are you sure? I don't think they have that guy. Don't think he exists. Or she exists. It's and it would probably be a good thing to employ. Good person to employ. I volunteer for that job. I will happily just question bad ideas. Wouldn't have them for long because they would go insane. Is that Is that the gist? They would lose their voice. They would have to be in too many meetings, questioning too much stuff. Right, it's gonna let us jump to our co-op. Let's go for that. Yeah, that's fair, Finn. Although, one thing which I have seen positive reports on in like 4.5 and even 4.6 is bugs around like the sort of noise leak bugs around specifically the larger ships like the Idris, the Perseus, the Polaris. Like, those appear to have got a lot better. So it might not even have been your kit. Like, there were people who were playing on, like, insane rigs who were crashing loads, particularly due to, like, Idrises and other large ships. So, might not be directly related to your PC. But hey, if you've got a new PC, winner chicken dinner, right? Announced the year of quality, but the only people they weren't hiring was QA. We're QA. I think that's been established, hasn't it? They've realised they don't need to pay QA because they've got so many people who will tell them things that are wrong with their game. Right. So, in the interest of actually doing some mining, should we head to Lyria, Fix? I shall make my way there after I'm just going to swing by Bajini Point and at least call for landing so that if we crash, I don't have to escape Lawville again. I think if I have to escape Lawville again tonight, that might be the bingo card of, like, Loud's patience with the PTU. Waiting to try and trap the right elevator to escape was thrilling. Nice one. I've also got my kitted mole, so that gives us 2. That's perfect. If we find some big rocks, we can all just hop in and crunch away. We're primarily after aluminium on Lyria. Yeah, that'd be great if the C2 meets us at Lyria too. We can sort of group up. Because you can land the C2, hop into the moles and do some of the mining, and then just when we fill the moles, we can we can just switch the bags out. Right. Let's head to Lyria. Oh, selling. Why would I want to go to selling? A genuine question. I'm after aluminium and quartz. Is selling good for one of those? Let's see. Yeah, 43% aluminium. Oh, 52 if I look at the right line. That is the same as Lyria though. Oh, the tech preview with the crafting. That's cool. I'm gonna drop in at Teddy's Playhouse on Lyria. Does he know? Start searching from there. That would be cool, because I completely missed the, I don't know how long they had that that experimental build up with the crafting, but I didn't see it. So judging by how quickly they took it down, I am assuming it did not work very well. Just a thought. Oh yeah, back on Lyria. Spent so much time on this moon. For so long I then avoided coming here because I was just like, you know, I'm happy to go anywhere but Lyria. 45 minutes. That would explain why I missed it completely. And yeah, not being able to get blueprints to load, that would be a problem testing crafting. Quite a significant one. One thing which they have done is they have vastly increased all of the RS signatures of stuff. But that means you're gonna see a lot of gems and stuff. But you'll also get massive rocks. So the double ping method seems to be the most reliable. Gotta just remember how much speed you can pick up on Lyria. Go on. I'll give us some aluminium at the first one. Nope, corundum. Now I am just curious whether this counts as a different cluster, because the clusters all have the same base metal. So, no. However, we can see from that rock would be quite easy to crack. 60... I'm slightly worried about my eyesight these days. I think that says 60 SCU, not 68. But that would be 30 SCU of Borace, which would refine down to, like, call it 16. And those contracts that we were looking at earlier, like, that would be 500k. Like, quite significant sort of good mining returns this build for sure, with those priority contracts. Yeah, I would prefer if that was how quality worked, Sky. I'm not a huge fan of, like, the RNG of, like, let's just go scouting forever to try and get AAA stuff. I would prefer it was, like, you know where you get the green zone mining, right? I would like it to be, like, if you get no red, you get, like, let's say, A quality. If you get some red, lots of red, more red, then you go down to, like, you know, B, C, D, E. Shitter. But then I would love it if, like, in the very middle there was, like, a thinner and thinner green zone, like an ultra green zone. And if you charged it in that ultra green zone, then that's how you get to, like, AA, AAA, etc. in terms of, like, resource quality. Tungsten. Right, so we found the two materials that we don't want. Judging by the fact that apparently 50% of this is aluminium. Next one's got to be aluminium, right? Yeah, this is the mining HUD on the mole has been added for a good couple of patches now. It is very good. We're not going to use it, but we also have lamp, which looks like total crap during the day, but is really good when you're going along in the night. No, so the mining thing on the HUD is just HUD. It's just to make scanning a lot easier. You don't control any of the lasers still from the pilot seat, which, you know, is kind of in line with what the mole's all about. So finding all that corundum. So with these ones, like when you're looking for a certain base metal, as we found with supply or die, you only need to scan one rock from the cluster. You don't need to, if one of them is corundum, they'll all be corundum. So we're just looking for one hit of aluminium, and then everything's going to be aluminium. What I am seeing from a lot more range is hand minables on moon surfaces. So things like the Dolivine and the Aphorite Hadanite. You almost like never used to see that from any distance, but they've upped the signature and the range at which you'll detect it. So, which is going to be quite good because we've also got hand mining missions. Yeah, it's difficult, Finn. Like, the mole is theoretically better, but only kind of theoretically. It's not more fun. Okay, I've got an aluminium cluster on loud. Doesn't seem to be anything truly massive here. Yeah, I saw all of the debris. But yeah, we were having a bit of a chat about it earlier, that it basically renders like asteroid mining quite difficult, if not impossible. Oh, that's a good rock. Yeah, so I've got there's a bunch of small rocks, but I've got one here which is over 100 SEU, 61% aluminium, 35% borace. Be super easy to crack and scoop, but we might as well just take all of that and switch the bags out. Roger that. Not a particularly nice landing spot, that's the only problem. Probably not the second mole, no, we can probably keep that mole looking for some more. But we can probably quickly fill this one up. Right. Yeah. Somebody was saying that there's like actually different debris types though, so it's not just panels, which is cool if that's the case. Probably make it feel nicer to do anyway. So we've got I've got Tika, Procyon, Starsheep, Hans, and Complex as well. Right. But yeah, we're gonna try. They've my level of struggles pales in insignificance, I feel, because these folks have successfully got some spare bags onto that C2, so we're going to try a little bit of that. It's going to be easier if I come over to you guys, isn't it? No, we're not too worried. Right, let's get some laser operators on this. It's the type of rock that could easily be soloed. However, it's just going to be quicker and easier to do it as a crew, and more fun. Care about the fun. I think with the size of this rock, you'll be fine just in the side laser hoffs. And I'll just worry about positioning you. Let's remember where I put those rocks. Okay, so that one's... Okay, nice. Yeah, that's definitely 100T. I feel something is a little bit off with my resolution, maybe. I'm not quite willing to accept that it's my eyes. Cool, just let me know if you're in range. Go. Lazy mining, commence. Oh. That was a totally intentional slip of the mole. Definitely wasn't me trying to take a nice screenshot. Nice one, Sky. Catch you a bit, dude. Ooh, nice complex. Right, while they crack this rock, I'm going to take the opportunity to go and get a tiny can of Coke. Need another little pick-me-up. I'll be right back. So hopefully here, what we should be able to do is just fill right up on aluminium, and if we can fill that C2 with loads of bags. Sorry, nudge my chair back into position. Then what I'm hoping we should be able to do is probably take it through to Nyx itself, and we'll take it to Levski and get it refining there. Because actually, the other thing is for quartz, and the Glacium ring is pretty good for quartz. So we should be able to mine a lot of quartz just straight out of Levski. Because I wasn't finding too many planets which have great quartz. Left alt and left mouse. Always having to remember how to change to the new extraction mode. Oh, hey, Spud. Yes, here I am. In the PTU. Now at this point we make it look like we haven't been suffering for like the last, for the first hour. Now we're into the mining. Rocks that mine themselves, because this is the life of a mole captain. Find people something to mine, then sit back, sip Coca-Cola, profit. We are trying out the new mining missions. And trying a little multi-crew expedition. We've got our C2 over there on the hill. Got some nice bags. Yeah, I still find myself right-clicking to try and change extraction mode. I'll stop being lazy in a second. I'll go down and actually help them mining. We'll probably go and crack that other rock. Yep, I would very much get that mole kitted up for 4.6. 4.6 looks like it will mostly be about mining and salvaging. But not having to mine only Quantanium. So maybe potential to be a bit more exciting. We do still need to see how profitable this stuff is, though. I know many people are waiting for the Arastra, but the Mole is still such a cool ship. Such a cool ship. And it does feel good to be back on Lyria. Lyria, to be fair, is still one of my favourite mining spots, mostly because of how much aluminium is here. Makes for very large mass, but like decently crackable rocks. So how are we looking? We're about half full already. 45 SCU of aluminium. Guys, we can just on Loudsmore. We can also take some of the borace. We're not too fussy. There's the we could also try filling some of the priority contracts with that. Oh, thank you very much for the prime sub there, Mr. Spud. Just to be clear though, I'm doing just scoop everything. I'm just doing streaming because it's fun. That is very much the approach I'm taking. It's a good fun way. It's particularly making it fun to do this PTU stuff. Whereas otherwise PTU stuff is suffering. While we are here, I do just want to take a little look at the ship mining contracts in Stanton. Just to see what they look like. Okay, so over here in ArcCorp, these are actually functioning and asking for a delivery to a Lagrange point station. Yeah, I do PTU so you don't have to. That is the common theme. Sorry, just got to reposition my headset so that it's not pushing on this this AirPod I've got in my ear. So one of the things which does make the early stages of this quite painful. It's like these missions, which are the ones you hand in to burn through the first rep, is taking you to the various mining facilities. It bounces around. I'll show it in the video I make about this, but like the best way to do it is to take all your stuff, dump it at one location, and then just hand it in. And then just take and abandon, take and abandon, take and abandon until it bounces back to the same location that you were at. But yeah, it is good that as the sizes of these missions go up, it wants you to take it to the Lagrange points as opposed to here. I just check. Were the other materials available on Lyria, tungsten, and corundum? Oh, yo. Sorry, did someone ask me? Roger that. This rock here? How's our range looking? So let's take a look back. What were the materials on offer in Lyria? Tungsten, corundum, and aluminium. Okay, folks. I've sorry. Since we've moved to ArcCorp, the missions for hand-in Stanton are actually functioning. So it seems to be Hurston specifically that's bugged out. And these missions want tungsten, aluminium, and corundum, which are basically just all the base metals available here on Lyria. So that's all we need to do. We don't need to faff. We just need to just grab every base metal that's here, right? And we'll be good. Don't have to go anywhere, which will probably be a much quicker way. Yeah, it's hard really, Waffle, to see what they're trying to get at, because cool, molt's full, heading back to the C2 to unload. Make sure those turrets are coming back in before we try a landing. Is it better for me to go front door or back door on the C2? Roger that. So yeah, I do wonder if with these mining missions they are just attempting to get us to like think about, to get people to learn how to mine. Let's make sure have I got, alright. Sorry guys, it would help if I unlocked ports, wouldn't it? There we go. I'll go and actually do some activity. So we can actually go for any large like basically any big rocks, because all of the base metals here could be used for hand-ins. Corundum, aluminium, or what's the other one that I'm forgetting? The other base metal that's here. Right. There we go. Let's run these back to the ship before we see them bouncing away. You just want to be careful of the downdraft of the mole not flinging all these bags away. Yeah, unfortunately it can happen. This is definitely one of those exercises where it's just like, now we will find all of the gold, all of the bexolite, all of the quantanium. But it's quite good in that way though, because like you can be coming out looking for this base metal stuff, then you just happen across like a really good rock and you mine it for money, right? In the PTU that doesn't matter, but I like how it will influence a bit of a change in the way that we do mining in live. I do indeed do live streams, Martin. It's I would say it's a new development. I basically tried it last year, and then I didn't. Some real life stuff happened, and I stopped, and then I found it quite difficult to motivate myself to start again. But I feel motivated now. So. We're doing a bit of a mini multi-crew mining up. Roger that. So now I can just chuck these down to Procyon. Got some spare bags. Yeah, please do, Martin. That would be great. Gonna try and be a bit more regular with this. It won't always be this much. Won't always be like three a week, like I'm aiming for at the moment. Might vary a bit depending on what videos I'm making, that sort of thing. But is that 8? Is it, Procyon? One more. Oh, thanks very much, Zax. Much appreciated. Alright, let's get back on board. Oh, thank you very much. It's really good fun. It's great fun to play this game. I started making videos during COVID. I just wanted to like learn a new skill. So how this has gone has made me very happy. Right. We might, Loudsmall might just try and find a new deposit, try and sort of balance out, so we got a bunch of aluminium there. We might try and balance it out with some of the other stuff it wants. Yeah, or I can just turn around and we can do more of these ones. That's fine. Rest of these rocks were quite small, so we'll probably just go and find something new. Try and aim for the biggest rocks we can. Yeah, we're doing some of the new mining missions, so we're after the current contract that we're looking to start filling is after corundum. Well, I'm forgetting the metals, so let's titanium, I think, and aluminium. Yeah, corundum, tungsten, and aluminium, which thankfully are basically all of the ones on Lyria. So we're just out filling up a C2's worth of mole bags. Let's get this going. Right, now I've moved on from my find, it's going to be ages till I find anything else. That's the way mining goes sometimes. Just keep an eye on where my crew are, because we don't want to get too separated and make it woefully inefficient for poor Prokion. I've gone off in the wrong direction, so let's turn that around. Yeah, those Idrises were very cool to build. However, I am very happy to be doing something else. It was a lot of spreadsheeting, not gonna lie. So, no, I don't mind a good spreadsheet. Never minded a good spreadsheet, but it's nice to just be back doing some generic mining. So yeah. Let's see. Have I just flown back over the exact granite deposit we were on? I feel I have, right. Off into this distance. Let's see. That looks like it will be more gems. Let's switch to nav mode. And let's get a bit more speed. Speed and gotta get a little bit of a move on. Yeah, that looked too tight. Gems. The scanning in 4.6 is not a huge improvement on 4.5. Let's see. This is where we can use the new lamp feature if we so wish. Does make some of the night side mining less panic inducing. Okay, so that is a nice chunk of corundum right there. And again, these rocks aren't like, they're not going to be a struggle to mine sort of solo or sort of, yeah, if you've got some friends with you, it's going to be quite easy. Starsheep, are you still on Loud's Mole? Nice, we got a nice little field of corundum here we can probably do another fill up on. Yeah. I guess I'll actually do some mining. I'm going to use one of the half-seeds, though I don't think this is going to take much in the way of power. Now I'm just left to really hope I switched us back to SCM. I'm pretty sure I did, to slow down. Might as well. So, as we can see, these are not exactly tough rocks to crack on your own. But having two of us in the turrets should allow us to then just do the secondary breaks nice and quickly. Got a few slightly odd lighting effects. Ooh, what do I think about hauling this patch? In 4.6 or 4.5, Regina? How full is the C2? How many of those bags have we got through? That's cool. How many, basically, like, how many more would we have to do just to fill up whatever bags we brought? Okay. Let's just aim to just fill up all the bags we bought, and then we'll probably call it. I might just do we'll get this handed in as a group. I might just carry on doing a bit of prospectoring. It's because yeah, it seems like just getting stacked up. So yeah, yeah, there is an Evocati test of crafting stacks. Specifically crafting. It's just what they were showing at SitCon, like sort of FPS gear. They had a test up the other night, like last night, I want to say, but it was taken down pretty quickly because the blueprints didn't work. So still work to do there, by the looks of it. I think that's us cleared out most of the corundum here, isn't it? I'll move us to another rock. So yeah, sorry, going back to your question, Regina. I think I think it was an improvement to hauling the 4.5 patch, not an improvement to the profitability of trading, of hauling. But sort of bringing in missions which were like cross-system, like inter-system, was an improvement in my opinion. Like that's what we would love to see. So let's see which is going to be the biggest. Right, so that's a reasonable one. We can also get some Boris. Okay, is that looking like a good position for Loudmelt? Let's turn off the lamp. We don't need lamp. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a while till we see any form of base building test. They need to, like, it's a good idea from as somebody who has liked a lot of crafting and building games. Just get basics of crafting working first. If you can't get crafting a gun working, you're not ready for base building, essentially. So yeah. Might as well sit back and let Sheep do this crack. No point interrupting him. At least this is working significantly better than the other day. So right, that's a big chunk of Boris. I think we probably prefer corundum if we can get as much corundum as we can. Just in terms of like the Borace would be good if we were doing this for real. We'd take the Borace for sure because you can use it to hand in the priority contracts. But what we really want to test here is the mining missions themselves. Build the rep up in that. Yeah, that was a... If we were after Borace, we found the right rock. Yeah, I am interested to see... I really hope they just deliver on Squadron. Like, there was a lot of... There's been a lot of waiting for it. I completely get with a AAA game that you only get one chance at release. You don't get that chance of like release it shit and then like hope that people will forgive you. They won't. Like that one's not really worth doing. 18.9 SEU. I think if we crack this one, this would be another 20 SCU of Corundum. Let me just get to the Helix and I'll just worry about scooping. There you go. You always, when you're making your way from the pilot seat to the main operator seat, you just pay that 1% HP to avoid the ladder. Hopefully Sheep doesn't cook this. I'd like to keep my modules. There we go. Let's look for the high corundum pieces. There we go, 100%. Well, if you're Bethesda Finn, everybody knows that like you completing the game is just it being half done. Because like what you're really waiting for then is all the modders to get on making it a real game. Might have a good piece hiding. Yeah, 100% Corundum. Hiding behind that Boreas there. We might as well just fill up on the rest of this Boreas. There we go. Yeah, so that's Loud's Mole full again. So there are no spare bags left. There are 5. Okay, we'll just come and we'll fit those 5, and then we'll yeah, exactly. Skyrim was just the game engine. Then the modders made it a game. I'm still waiting for the modders to make like Starfield a game, to be fair. Right, let's look for Procyon. Is it easiest for us to come to you, Procyon? It's easiest for us to come to you in the C2. Ah, you're coming to us. That's cool. We'll take it to Arkel 2. Yeah, we'll refine everything there because it's asking for the that's where it's asking for the handing of the contracts. I would imagine it bounces between ArcL2 and ArcL1, but we'll just be able to like submit it all at ArcL2 and just abandon any contracts that send us to ArcL1. Right. Ooh, they've made it a Star Wars game. I know I'm late to this buy, like, just to be clear. I'm under no illusion. I know how late I am. But I just watched Andor. And that was so good. So good. People have been telling me for ages that Andor was really good. And I'd kind of been like, I've been burnt by Star Wars too many times. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it to the extent that I'm looking on websites at Star Wars memorabilia again. So nice one, Stacks. Nice to see you. Catch you later, buddy. Let's unlock those ports. So we'll just take 5 of these bags off, right? And like switch them for the okay, we can head on over to you as soon as we're done switching bags. Oh. I love the physics of falling over on moons. Let's get these on board. Feel like I have to really like yank it off. Also not now sure where that bag went. Sorry, I've got to chase down the escaping bag. Might have gone a bit errant due to my debagging technique. Right, so you pull it off from the opposite direction. That makes more sense. It also looks like the max lift is a lot better at doing this than the hand tool. Cool. I'll move the mole over to the rear of the C2. Yeah, Finn, if you haven't watched a lot of the new Star Wars stuff, give most of it a miss. But watch all of Andor and then watch Rogue One. That is... I can almost guarantee you won't regret it. I'm good. Hope Procyon doesn't see that and bill me for the paint on his C2 there. Yeah, is it easier if I just hover a little bit off the ground? Can add you a little bit of roll if that helps as well. God bless our totally realistic flight model in Star Citizen. Can just randomly hold this absolute brick of a ship in this sort of position. When am I getting sub-announcements? I don't know what sub-announcements are, I'll be honest. I'll be honest, Spank. I am so uninformed on streaming that I have no idea what those are. Right, that's my one fitted with those 5 extra bags, is it? Nice. I will land to hopefully get Starsheep back on board. It seems like we knocked him over to the point he's swimming across Lyria. I will investigate this. Basically, my Google search history is gonna be what are sub announcements? How sub announcements? Well, the things that pop up. Okay, I can probably do that. Let me just test them. I'm seeing 0 out of 60 SEU, so that makes sense. 5 bags. That's about right, isn't it? Yeah, so we've got 5 attached, 5 bags attached. So all of our other bags are on the C2, so that's perfect. And if we head to yeah, so we'll Arco 1 or Arco 2, as long as we go to the same one, we're all good. And cool, we'll head across to the other guys and to Tigran Complex and fill up on whatever's there. Should, after suffering through some standard PTU stuff, this looks like it's turned out okay. Oh, didn't mean to put my landing gear down. Back up you come. I meant to go into nav mode. Turn on our night vision, not crashing into any mountains, please. Is there anything else to pick up where you are, Tigran Complex? Oh, the big rock's still there. Cool. We'll come and help you with the big rock. Let's give that a go. Let's maybe stop going 900 meters per second in a school bus a bit before we get to them. Never aim your ship at your friends. That's a key. That's another loud guns tip. I will never forget the Reclaimer pilot who smashed into the Cutty Black that was carrying him his entire crew. That was a highlight moment. It is in these little like dips in between mountains and stuff where it gets really dark that you do really appreciate this new lamp system. Okay. I'm guessing this is the big rock. There we go, gold. Ooh. Should we just do this from one mole to break it? Yeah. Got me and Sheep, we'll just hop out. We'll join their mole. Roger that, yeah. Or to be fair, Tiga, you can probably jump out the front of the mining laser. You're not so high that you would actually take much fall damage, and then you could just hop on my mole. That might be simpler. The laser's probably safer because it looks closer to the floor. Now watch this. If Tika dies, I'm gonna feel really bad. Please don't now die, Tika, because people have just watched me say that you definitely won't die. And it's gonna look like I baited you to your death. So... Well, then I'll have to run over pretty quickly and revive her. You have to do, like, maybe a little crouch. But there's no pane of glass in the front of the lasers. So, the side lasers, that is. Looks fine to me. I mean, I'm going to come across with a med gun just in case. It's super low grav. See, for everybody's benefit, Tika didn't even take any damage. No damage. I didn't just bait her to her death. That's good. Makes me feel better. Cool. I figure we'll just do it in one go because I'll use pyrometric to get it done quick, and it'll just be done by like tomorrow, basically. Awesome. Right. Let's try and get nicely lined up on this. Nah, and we can also break all the rules and just use pyro. Speed. We don't care about what the refining bill is. Right, let's just go get into the center helix. Right, I'll just go crank up the helix. Let's let things settle down. Okay, yeah, we got charge building. That's good. I may just surge it for a bit of speed. Nice. Oh, we got a good break. We got a good break with tiny amounts of gold. Excellent. You heard nobody say in live. Some pretty good gold rocks in here, which is good because it means there's some good aluminium rocks. This is where the helix suffers, though. Too much power. Oh dear. We're gonna be fine, right? That's not gonna charge. It was fine, it was fine. Just hearing warning power critical. Yeah, we're getting a little bit desyncy, aren't we? Yeah, if we all of a sudden all go back to Lorville. Let's see if we can feather this. Sorry for the blatant concentration here, folks. Hey, Hagbard. Thank you very much for the raid, my friend. Alright, there we go. Thankfully, you didn't just come in to see me explode myself trying to feather a small green zone on a helix. We're after that sweet aluminium today for the mining contracts. Just in case anyone is confused as to why we're ignoring the gold. And going for that, so... 65% aluminium, we'll take that. We've only got 60 SCU left of space, so maybe we'll be a little bit more picky. Good to see they haven't fixed the mole sound bugs though. Judging by the fact that nobody has a laser on, and I can still hear one going off in my head. Let's just quiet that down a little bit. That's alright, that's better. Ciao for now, Smeg. Right, let's we've only got like 8 SCU left. Let's we don't have to be all that picky. Picky enough that I'll ignore the 100% gold piece. No, thank you. That's ugh. I've never seen a 100% slice of gold in the PU. I've got 200% slices of gold here. Gold has never been that nice to me in terms of how it splits. Or should we get it? Yeah, we can probably get that done. Yeah, we should probably just crack that just in case Complex comes back in. Are you back in? Yeah, Complex. Ah, cool. I've been oblivious, don't worry. Right, I'll just position us. We're now full, so if you want to scoop any of this up, mate, you go for it. Have you still got some space in your bags, have you? Yeah, I wouldn't suggest running a Loud Guns video and a Loud Guns stream at the same time. You could triple down and also come say hi on Discord at some points, but that would be good. One of my favourite moments though was when Spud forgot he left one of my videos playing and we were in Discord, and then I left to go and do stuff and he was trying to talk back to me in the video. That was a good moment. Wondering why I was being really rude, ignoring him and not slowing down. Right, if we get this piece cracked, then we can get ourselves on the way to the refinery. Did you end up at Arc 1 or L2, Brocchion? Just so we all... L1, nice one. Nice one. Right, we'll head to Arca 1 and we'll see you there, Complex. Right. Let's hope the QT drive doesn't fail us at this one. 55 hours on Dinix. Yeah, pass. 65. We're going to add even more to that. And then we're just going to pyro it. We're going to generate a refining bill for aluminium like nobody has ever seen before. Don't do this in the real world, folks. Dog-leggy jumps. I feel okay about doing it this way in the PTU. I don't think very many self-respecting pirates are going to be out camping Arca 1 because in a test build this buggy. So I could be wrong, could always be wrong, but I don't think they would do it. So. Right. Let's get into Arca 1. I kind of want to dump it all together just to see how much we pulled in from that run. Also should let us get some really decent sort of crate sizes if we deliver it then to a single C2, something like that. We could actually see 32 SCU crates from mining again. It'd be amazing. Yes. Yeah. We should do the whole sea space station approach. Where you just park, you find somewhere good, like Lyria was good for filling that contract basically. But then you just have the whole sea waiting in space with like some of its panels, like the forward facing panels are for dropping off the full bags, and the rear facing panels are for picking up empty bags. That would be peak. No, but we haven't had a reason to do it in a while. But this gives us a reason. This is really cool in that way. Do these places like Arca 1, do they have external freight elevators? Can take a quick look in the elevator, can't we? Just gonna make sure my ports are unlocked. There we go. Because those would actually let us, if we have external freight elevators at the refinery stations, then that means that we could use a whole sea as sort of our space station, and then unload it. Whoa. Okay, in the hangar, that worked perfectly to pull that off. Was not liking it on Lyria's surface. You don't usually have to do this, but just because we're going to mining accident, there we go, 0 days since the last mining accident. Since we're going to put it with all the other ones that we brought back on the C2, we're going to send these down. This one. You're right to bring the other ones up just so I can clip what we what we get as the total job. And we've got Complex coming in, we can pop and unload him too, and then see our total take for the evening. I gotta say, I do really enjoy doing this sort of thing, sort of pulling loads of spare bags in. Because the elevator is too small. Glorious. That's true, Finn. Are they really your friends if you don't have a mining accident? Yeah. We'll do that. Because I want to test how shareable these missions are, and whether you can share them and share the rep. That would be something we'll look to do once they're all refined. See if we can do a shared hand in, because that's definitely worth testing from a sort of rep grind perspective. Right, let's quickly head over to Complex's hangar. I've got PTSD over elevators now, though. Sadly, no external elevators here at Arc 2. Unfortunately, it does seem that Complex is getting trolled a little bit on landing, with somebody deciding to hang around in front of his hangar. Okay. Clearly, the Cutlass pilot got bored. Gotta say, I do like that moleskin. That's a good looking paint. Is this the Shubin Interstellar one? Nice. If you could just unlock your ports, Complex. Make sure I don't get crushed by a mole. That would be a good way to end. Let's get these loaded away. That's a rapid pit stop. Good job. Right, let's go. Nice. Right, let's go see what the total take is. No, the landing pads are just landing pads. I think the external elevators are only at the lower Earth orbitals and at the whatchamacallit, like gateway stations. Those definitely have them. But that means that the gateway stations could be an option because they have refineries. So when we do our whole sea as a mining base thing, that could be an option for the unloading. Now, what you could do in this situation is sort of split these up into small jobs to make it refine really quickly. But to be fair, what we're going to do is we're just going to refine it all in one go, and with pyrometric chromolysis it shouldn't take too long, should be ready to go tomorrow. But I would probably never recommend anyone actually uses pyro. Right. So 77 SCU of corundum. We picked up 37 SCU of gold. With borace and 270 of aluminium. So that's a decent haul. 16 hours with pyrometric. It's only 27k. It's not actually that expensive. We do at this station lose a bit of the corundum though, and aluminium. This is actually, not like I'm going to change it now, but this is actually maybe not the station to come to, given the corundum is -4%, aluminium's -5. Might have to check out what ARC-L2's rates on these are. But hey ho, still we'll get that ticking. Quantanium is quite good round here, +3%. I think it's the same at ARC-L2 as well. So, right. Well, with that in the cooker, so we've got 115. So that'll round up to 116 of aluminium and 34 of corundum. We only actually need about 5 of each per one of these contracts. But just for context as well, I think it was about 15 SCU of borace was 500k or so. So, you know, we'd be making like 500,000 credits off the run just in terms of the priority contracts, and then some. So, you know, 17 SCU of gold is not to be sniffed at either. So that would be a decent chunk of change. So yeah, making some decent progress towards these missions. Awesome. Right, well, I'm gonna probably leave it there. It's got to about 10:30 my time. I do have work in the morning, sadly. So I'm probably gonna round off the stream just there. Thank you as ever, everybody, for coming along, hanging out. Hope it's been fun. I'm hoping that at some point I manage to do one of these streams where we get mining within like the first 15 minutes. If we could aim to bring it down from like the first hour to the first 15 minutes, that would be a big improvement. So awesome. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. I think we're planning on another stream on Thursday. I'll probably keep it super simple though for myself. So right, thanks very much, and thank you to my wonderful crew for keeping me company through that. And I'll catch you all in the next one.